be attached to her. This is one that I honestly hadn't heard of until doing the video, but I've had a lot of people consistently asking it for quite some time. And I can safely say that of the plethora of horror movies out there, this is one of them. Its biggest problem being that it doesn't really stand out and isn't anything we haven't already seen before. However, it still actually has great atmosphere and camera work, along with better than average performances and a welcome and spooky as usual performance from Javier Botet. But it feels almost like the director studied too hard at the school of James Wan, the mastermind behind the Conjuring universe. And the filmmaker did admit it was an influence, which can be felt in a generally positive way throughout, as is extremely well put together production-wise and spook-wise. Yet it doesn't do more than what Wan has already accomplished, falling in his shadow without creating their own stamp on the style. That doesn't mean the movie doesn't work as a whole, because it actually does. They have studied well at the heels of the Conjuring series and accomplished many scares and scenes of suspense, and some truly standout moments that are genuinely frightening. I also admittedly can see why people might be confused by the ending on this one, because it does have a pretty huge twist in its final minutes that seemingly comes out of nowhere, especially if you're not obsessively paying attention to every detail and word out of every character's mouth like I do. But not dear viewers, because that is why I'm here. And after this video, everything makes sense. So let's check out Don't Knock Twice, breaking down the story, everything about our demon and its rules, as well as explaining the big twist and the ending. Our first scene gives us a very good look at the strained relationship between Mother Jessica and her teenage daughter Billy. Jess gave up her daughter years ago through drug abuse, and after several years sober and on a better track, was hoping to repair her relationship with her daughter, wanting to get custody and have her live in her ridiculously stately home with her new husband Ben. And here the two are seeing each other for the first time since her mom more or less abandoned her. Jess lays out her offer, but Chloe is more than a little upset over the relationship thus far, saying she needed her 9 years ago, but she didn't want her then. Jess stammers to explain, but can't find the words, Chloe making her feelings very clear, telling her mother to leave her alone and never bother her again. Really laying down the law there. But it would be difficult to just jump back into being her daughter after their troubled history. So it is this broken relationship that will have to be repaired as we see throughout our story. Somehow Jess has gone from junkie to successful artist and sculptor in less than a decade, which is quite an impressive feat. Seen working on her sculpture in her studio, with some random lady Trina holding her baby acting as model. Wrapping up her session, Trina asks Jess to hold her kid, and she places a strange symbol-adorned necklace around her. Trina assures her it's beneficial, a talus whose magic will help her daughter see the love in her heart. Okay, sure, thanks for the magical ring, lady. I totally believe and trust you because, wait, what are you doing? But apparently knocked down Ginger in the UK. This gives Danny an idea of the perfect place to up the ante on the game, taking her to the remnants of a creepy old house, now forgotten and developed over with a highway right next door. We come to understand they used to come here and play the game on a woman called Mary who lived here. And since her death, the woman has become a kind of spooky local legend, now considered to be a witch who had been taking children in town. Although, as she's now dead, there is no one to be her demon. However, it's still trapped in the house just waiting for someone to knock. One knock to wake her and twice to raise her from the dead. If you're the one who knocks, then she'll come looking for you. Okay, this demon thing uses doors as kind of gateways between dimensions. And it's all about the doors and knocking, as we will soon come to see. So if you know all that, and if it's even just a silver legend, that doesn't mean I'm gonna go right up to the door, knock out twice and everything like some complete moron. You know, it's just asking for it. And that's the case here. So I don't have too much sympathy for these two. They're the ones that choose to knock twice. But, oh, guess what? After all that, nothing seems to happen. Well, except for the spooky ghost lady, briefly glimpsed by Chloe looking out through the upstairs window. Don't worry about that, probably. But it doesn't take long for an evil force to come a-knocking at Danny's door. Floating down the hallway, entering into the place, and right over his head, someone makes like growling noises. As the door creeps open, he sees a woman's reflection in the glass, but no one is there. A knock on the door brings him to check the peephole, all shrouded in darkness. At the end of the hallway, a figure appears, growling, followed by an eye appearing right at the peephole, calling his name, and telling him it's coming. Then he feels the side, telling him to run. That means flipping the light switch on and see nothing out of place. Still startled by a call from Chloe on his laptop, apologizing for waking him. Well, it is 3 o'clock in the damn morning, lady. Most people are asleep now, to be fair. Danny feels off. But before he can say more, she leaves for just a moment, long enough taken. But the demon isn't about to give up on her yet. And again, being attacked by a supernatural demon and the blood in the sink and whatnot, this is not for Chloe to consider the idea of staying with her mom for a while, which must still be difficult even if their house is a freaking sweet, so it's not all bad. Just admitting the past few years have been amazing for them, but lamenting the only thing missing was her daughter. But there must need dealing with past emotions. You have to go on the back foot. As Chloe begins to realize the demon has followed her here, and a mom has an encounter with the spirit of the woman Mary, following anguished cries through the halls one night, where she finds Mary sobbing, clutching a knife, apologizing in Polish before slitting her throat. Horrifying deaths, even more so than Scarface appeared on the woman as she falls to the ground dying. But it was all just a terrible nightmare. Telling Chloe about the woman she saw in a dream, her realizing it is indeed Mary, the strange woman that they pranked as children, calling her Ginger. She never came out of the house, but you could see her in the window on occasion, going on to tell her about her recent experience here with Danny, trying to chill even as they get taken. Then embraces her in her arms, assuring her that she would protect her and her safety. We'll see about that. The next morning, that Tyrion comes back, and is actually even more stressed out than last time. She's frightened by Chloe's presence and leaving in a rush, only offering that she can't help her, but that she was marked by something evil and leaves. Well, thanks for clearing that up, ladies. Thanks, bye! We later meet Detective Gorman, in search of the now officially missing Danny. But he also has a connection to Chloe via a missing persons case 3 years ago that also ties back to Mary. As children, one of their friends, Michael, went missing, and Chloe and Danny believe that it was Mary that took him, and begin to torment her endlessly by missing her every night, to the point that Mary couldn't take it anymore and killed herself. But that's not quite the whole truth as to why she took her own life, which Chloe learns after some good old-fashioned internet boogeyman research, and comes up with exactly what we were dealing with here. The ancient demon Baba Yaga, an evil hag or dark mother figure who can open doors between worlds to claim the However, her powers are limited, and she can't take her victims herself, needing a slave or cursed soul to do her bidding so she can get her grub on. These slaves can only be freed in 2 ways. 4 rules. First, killing themselves, or tricking someone into replacing them by having them do something truly evil. And guess what? This will come up later, so try to do this whole thing. And this was actually rewind and kill herself. She was one of Baba Yaga's servants, and in the end, the duties of bringing her people caused her to end her own life to escape it, more than just the kids pranking her. And as you've seen, her spirit still is stuck here, apparently, and she does at least try to warn the victims that Baba is coming, even though they never listen. Mom isn't buying any of this wild speculation, calling it insane. What do you mean, Mom? I found it on the internet. It's rock solid, dude. So they try to get back to some kind of normalcy, spending time together in Jess's studio, and opening a bit about the past for the first time. Jess admitting that she wasn't there for her daughter, and honestly felt it was better for her to have someone else raise her. But Chloe doesn't agree, obviously wishing her mother, no matter her faults, had taken care of her. When getting a delivery, Jess finds the studio has been vandalized, everything on the ground and broken, the statues adorned in odd black coverings. She thinks it must have been Chloe, but she knows it was the demon showing his presence to them both, with a message scrawled in Jess out of the house. The uncle